strikingly, in what you said this week about migration, you said that you would treat people smugglers as though they were terrorists. Let me test this out with you. Would you, for example, treat people smugglers the way we do terrorists and detain them without charge for 28 days?
What I meant by that is that we need to put people smugglers, those that are involved in this vile trade, in the same category as terrorists. And I went, obviously, to The Hague to discuss this with police units, Europol, those that do joint operations across a number of different countries. And what I know from my own experience, Trevor, I was obviously Director of Public Prosecutions between 2008 and 2013. I had staff in The Hague working on these joint operations. And when it came to counter-terrorism, what we were able to do very effectively was to share intelligence in real time, to agree between the lead countries where the investigation would take place, where we would smash the, in that case, terrorist gangs and bring them to justice. And I believe that if we put international organised immigration crime into that same bracket, we could run the same operation. I'll give you one small example. But we know that we know that the boats that are being used at the moment to cross the Channel are being effectively made to order. We know they're being stored in Europe and then brought to the north coast of France. It must be possible, if we get the right operation in place, to smash that operation. And that's what I was discussing when I was over there. And that's what I mean by putting them in the same category as terrorists.
Well, that's clear up to a point. But for 2 decades, one of the outstanding points about the way we deal with terrorism is that we have changed the law in relation to terrorism. And if I can just come back to you, would you, for example, treat people smugglers legally in the same way that we treat terrorists and detain them without charge for 28 days?
Look, I don't think it's the detention powers that are an issue here, Trevor. What I was talking about is the operations. There are other features of terrorist provisions that I would use. Just bear me out on this, because we've had serious crime prevention orders for a long time in place in relation to terrorism and other serious offending. And that allows a court to impose restrictions of movement, to chase money and freeze money of those involved in organised crime. Those orders have never been used to deal with those involved in the vile trade of putting people into the water to cross the Channel. And I want them to be used in that way.